Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 311 based on novel. So let's start. Luophone was holding the black pendant in the bloody pyramid. The material of the black pendant was almost the same as that of the cyan keepsake. There were strange beast sculptures he had never seen before on the keepsake, and there were 9 fangs on the strange beast. Its eyes emitted fire as if it were the king of darkness. The black pendant represented the black secret space. Luophone nodded as he played with it. The objects in Universe Boat are indeed mysterious. The gravitational power is able to tear apart pinnacle true treasures, yet this one remains intact. Are there valuables in the black space? Luophone wondered. Actually, it was highly likely that there were valuables in the black space, especially valuables from the great beings from the first universe era. They didn't want their valuables to fall into the hands of those from the second universe era or those from the original universe, so they'd rather keep them in the secret space and hide the keepsakes. Of course, some great beings would destroy the valuables outright. Different great beings had different ideas. I wish that 5 Chaos Master left some valuables in the secret space, Luophone thought. However, that secret space is a land of valuables. Black keepsakes, cyan keepsakes, and silver keepsakes, each of them represented 3 individual spaces. The secret space itself was very special. Luophone's original plan was to go to the black striped stone pillar to sharpen his willpower, which was why he closely followed that black keepsake. After such a long time being hit by gravitational power without being protected by godly power, the life imprints in the black keepsake are already very weak. Luophone tried to make it recognize him as its master. The godly power went in, and it found that the life imprint inside was already very weak. After trying several times, the life imprint left by 5 Chaos Master was gone. The black keepsake would belong to Luophone once his life imprint was infused. The bloody pyramid landed on the green water layer. The green water was extremely cold and could rival frozen lake fire. If I got trapped in the abyss, it would be very difficult for me to get out. I need to carefully inspect this abyss first. The map left by Fanzi only has a very brief record of this abyss. Dimming golden light started to permeate on the green water. It was deep, enormous, and complex. Fanzi had only been here for a while, so perhaps he didn't even record 1/1,000,000th of this abyss. I need to depend on myself in this abyss. Luophone started to inspect his area carefully. After all, he would reside here for a while. Chaos airflow permeated everywhere in Universe Ocean. 2 beings were teleporting time and time again. The forces from them were both pretty ordinary, however, every Universe Master in Universe Ocean would be able to identify them. After all the Universe Masters adventuring Universe Ocean would be notified that some beings must not be messed with. These 2 could definitely not be messed with. They were the 3rd True Master and the 6th True Master from Divine Eye Clan. The Soul Eye phantoms behind them had already disappeared, which made them look like ordinary human beings. 5 Chaos suffered a great loss this time, and those other races laughed at us of the Divine Eye Clan. Humph! This time, we'll show the power of our Divine Eye Clan together. Even the 2 Holy Lands don't dare to mess with us, yet that human from the original universe dared to. Indeed. The 2 Holy Universes didn't want to mess with the Divine Eye Clan. The Divine Eye Clan was indeed extremely powerful, as there were lots of Universe Masters. Of course, it was nothing compared to the 2 Holy Lands. However, there were 7 Universe Supreme Masters topping the 2 Holy Lands. Universe Supreme Masters wouldn't be bred in the Holy Universes. Besides, the small universes of the surviving Universe Supreme Masters from the Holy Lands were already annihilated. Even though they were still alive, their power was significantly weaker after the miniature universes were annihilated. Which meant the 2 Holy Lands were indeed intimidated by the Divine Eye Clan. The end is coming, the green-eyed man said. We have to take our last chance, and anyone who dares to mess with us will be punished. Luophone fell into the abyss with that 5 Chaos, so the Silver Wing True Treasure and Extermination Godly Armor are in the abyss. Some Universe Supreme Masters will go, even that huge axe from the human race. Yeah, it's possible. Huge axe is young. Although he is powerful, he doesn't have a supreme true treasure, so he isn't our match. We have 7 Universe Supreme Masters, and we obtained ancient techniques from the 3 lands of extremis. Perhaps only Teacher Origin can suppress us. As for the others, we don't need to be afraid. We will punish any Universe Supreme Master who comes this time, especially Huge Axe. Yes. We've arrived. The seemingly ordinary beings arrived at Universe Boat. Universe Ocean, the inner area of titled Peak Sector. The waterfall covered everything, and there were giant rocks flying in it. A shining axe appeared. The giant axe was more than 90,000 kilometers long, and the head was enormous. There were ancient engraving sculptures on the haft. The engravings were mysterious, which made the huge axe gleam. It tore the space around it apart. The waterfall bounced back, and the huge rocks were cracked. All the laws retreated. Break. The space in front of it was clotted, and hence teleportation was impossible. However, the huge axe resisted all the laws, and it kept getting faster and faster. 100 times faster than light speed, 10,000 times faster than light speed. The speed kept surging, and after only several minutes, it made its way through this clotted area. Then it teleported and disappeared. Huge Axe Creator finally made his way out of Tilted Peak Sector after lots of godly power, teleportation, and rapid movement. Finally, a huge, barefoot man was standing in the space right outside Tilted Peak Sector, watching the endless space in front of him. The Divine Eye clan is from the first universe era, so they'll act crazily, as they are facing the life limit. Besides, they are very proud of themselves and even look down upon the 2 holy lands. They'll seize this chance to show their power. Haha, Teacher Origin roamed Universe Ocean, and no Universe Supreme Masters dare to be reckless in front of him. I'll take Teacher Origin as an example. With this huge axe, I'll be able to show my power. Divine Eye clan, I'll start with you. The barefoot huge man was furious and confident. With one teleportation after another, he soon left Tilted Peak Sector and started to head off to Universe Boat. In the depths of the 9th abyss, the bloody pyramid was flying slowly, and it inspected the area around it using Golden Country. There were quite a few special areas in the abyss, and 99% of the areas could not be inspected by Luo Phone. No wonder the map left by Jie Fanzi is so brief. I can only use my eyes for inspection. Luo Phone looked out from the bloody pyramid. Star Tower was a supreme true treasure, so it couldn't block Luo Phone's sight. He used the most primitive way to inspect the surroundings. One day passed. The abyss is indeed very dangerous, said Luo Phone. Top-tier palace-type true treasures won't be able to survive more than 5 minutes, and even pinnacle palace-type true treasures won't survive more than a day. Luckily, I have Star Tower. Luo Phone was terrified by how dangerous the abyss was. He could run into places as dangerous as Lava Ocean, and the only difference from God-destroying stream was that there weren't being like molten lava devil god who would attack people. It's so dangerous, but there isn't a single true treasure born. This doesn't make sense. Normally, the more dangerous a place is, the more likely that powerful true treasures will be born, yet it's completely the opposite here. Luo Phone was confused. There were great beings from universe eras who came here for inspection. Yet they all proved that there weren't true treasures born in the abyss. Even if there were, they were left by dead great beings. Star Tower kept flying. It found different dangerous areas, yet it failed to find any valuables. Huh? Luo Phone frowned. He wasn't blocked by Star Tower, and he saw a black object. Go there. Luo Phone controlled Star Tower and flew there. It kept getting closer and closer. That black object looked like a black scale from Extermination Godly Armor. Is it? Luo Phone looked excited. Star Tower flew into the windy area. Endless golden light permeated. Even though it was disturbed, it could still attack or bound, and it grabbed the black scale immediately. After a while, it took the black scale back in Star Tower. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. It's a scale from Extermination Godly Armor. I've found one. So the others are close. Luo Feng held onto the black scale, which was around the size of a wash basin. He felt a slight coldness while holding onto it, and even though he was looking at the physical object, he felt that black scale had an intimidating aura. Extermination Godly Armor's name rings far and wide. However, it had always been in 5 Chaos Masters' possession and has never been owned by any other great beings. So, all the said true uniqueness of Extermination Godly Armor spreading within the universe ocean are merely rumors. But the unanimous fact agreed upon by all, including the various universe supreme masters, is that its powers are only second to that of a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng could still remember the scene where 5 Chaos Master transformed into 5 Beasts God. Extermination Godly Armor was certainly the best fit for him. A true treasure of this grade is more precious and rarer than a strange object. Strange objects may be formidable, but they do not have any secret engravings to stimulate them. No one knows the actual powers of Extermination Godly Armor, nor do they know its true name. Luo Feng looked at the black scale before him. His heart was on fire. I must get hold of Extermination Godly Armor. Hong. Luo Feng's godly power penetrated the black scale right away. This particular black scale had drifted all the way and had undergone the various impacts within Deep Abyss without the protection of any godly power. Just like his Shawu wings, which had suffered from various ups and downs to be heavily damaged, this black scale might not be so unfortunate as to incur damages, but it had lost almost all of its life imprints, with only a faint trace left. With merely 2 impacts, Luo Feng was able to penetrate it to leave a life imprint. Huh? Luo Feng frowned. There isn't any information? This black scale had already recognized him as its master, but he could not detect anything special. Could it be because this black scale is only a small part of the countless scales on Extermination Godly Armor? So it was powerless? Luo Feng said to himself. It was possible, as there was something called an incomplete true treasure. A true treasure had to be able to function normally before a portion of information could appear. Start searching. Star Tower started moving right away. Luo Feng started searching as though he had cast his net at random. He merely had a piece of scale that recognized its master. But it did not have the ability to summon, nor did it contain any information, so Luo Feng could only search around slowly. However, he had already discovered his first piece, so he assumed that there would be others in the surroundings. With his control over Golden Kingdom, Luo Feng transformed into a large golden hand and grasped handfuls of dangerous lands as he scanned and swept through them carefully. Second piece. Luo Feng was pleasantly surprised. A third piece. The truth was, there were, indeed, many Extermination Godly Armor scales in the surroundings. One by one, these scales were quickly being discovered, allowing the number of scales that Luo Feng found to increase continuously. The only pity was, even though the number of scales found was increasing, there was still no information regarding Extermination Godly Armor being transmitted to Luo Feng's consciousness. Universe Ocean was the Divine Eye clan's first universe. 5 Chaos Master frowned and quickly walked out of the silent room to stand before the high railings of the towering Godly Palace. He looked far into the sky. First True Master. Before him, in midair, a fuzzy figure appeared. 5 Chaos. First True Master looked at him. First True Master, 5 Chaos Master said anxiously. Previously, when my black token lost its sensitivity while it was within Universe Ocean, I could detect its location and direction, but at least I could detect its presence. When my black token first lost its sensitivity, I thought it was the extremely scary impact of the deep abyss that repeatedly attacked with such impact, thus causing my life imprints to shatter. However, just now, First True Master frowned and said, "Continue talking. Just a moment ago, when it came to the countless pieces of scales of Extermination Godly Armor, by right, I should be able to vaguely detect them. But just now, I realized that the scales were disappearing quickly, one after the other. Apparently, my life imprints were continuously being shattered. However, when Extermination Godly Armor was being torn apart into countless scale pieces and being swept into deep abyss, even if it was a unique situation, it should still be a large-scale amount of life imprints being shattered at one go as a result of a portion of scales being swept up. Yet I felt that this repeated shattering was more likely scattered pieces of my extermination godly armor being found by great beings and thereafter recognizing these great beings as their masters. 5 Chaos Master said this all in a serious tone. Being found by great beings? First True Master was a little confused. There are other great beings in the 9th level of Deep Abyss. There aren't many who know of Deep Abyss, 5 Chaos Master replied seriously. Just 3 powers, us, the human race from the primal universe, and the Purple Moon Holy Land. Those who dare to venture into Deep Abyss are definitely Universe Supreme Masters. Almost certainly they would be humans from the primal universe and a certain few Universe Supreme Masters from Purple Moon Holy Land. Or a few other Universe Supreme Masters who were nearby and heard the news and were quick in reaching Deep Abyss to explore. That may be how a certain few Universe Supreme Masters somehow ventured into the 9th level of Deep Abyss. First True Master nodded slightly. Then the situation was a little troublesome. There were great beings who were a step ahead of him. The chances of great beings finding the scattered scales were extremely high, said 5 Chaos Master, while the chances of the environment of Deep Abyss causing the life imprints to shatter one by one were extremely low, unless there were cases of sheer coincidences. I know, First True Master replied slowly. 5 Chaos Master bowed and immediately retreated. He understood that now, all he could do was pass on the information he had. There was really nothing else he could do. The internal domain of Universe Boat. 3rd True Master and 6th True Master had made a majestic entry into the internal region. What? Yes, teacher. 6th True Master's divided body was in a conversation with 1st True Master via its consciousness. Then he quickly turned his head to look at 3rd True Master beside him. In a serious tone, he said, Teacher has just given me some news. We have met with a little trouble. Oh. 3rd True Master looked over. What did Divine Eye say? Divine Eye clan had 7 True Masters. First True Master was the first in the entire history of the Divine Eye clan to become a Universe Supreme Master. At that time, he went by the title of Divine Eye. He took the path of becoming a Universe Supreme Master with his title of Divine Eye. Therefore, within Universe Ocean, he had earned the title of Divine Eye True Master. Among the other 6 True Masters, 3 were disciples of Divine Eye True Master. Teacher said that in the 9th level of Deep Abyss, there are great beings, and these great beings are also searching for the scattered pieces of scales of extermination godly armor, 6th True Master said in a serious tone. We have merely entered this internal domain, so we are still very far away. There is no way we can stop them. Great beings have actually ventured into Deep Abyss too. 3rd True Master instantly became a little flustered. No matter how formidable they were, there was no way they could get there directly. I don't care anymore. 3rd True Master gritted his teeth as he shouted, let's just burn with our godly power. We will tear apart time and space to get there in the shortest time possible. Yes. 6th True Master nodded. The two went utterly mad. Although they each owned a supreme true treasure, those were not attacking weapon-type true treasures. So when it came to the speed of tearing apart time and space, they were far from catching up with Huge Axe Creator. The only advantage they had was that Huge Axe Creator was already a beat slower than they were from the beginning, so at that point in time, Huge Axe Creator was merely at the entrance of Universe Boat. Searching like crazy, one by one, the pieces of scales were being hunted down. Luo Feng had transformed into a golden beast which controlled Golden Kingdom within Deep Abyss. Golden Beast was rampantly grabbing, kicking, and trying all sorts of ways to comb through every inch possible. Soon, he managed to search and gather more and more pieces of scattered scales. 9,310, 9,311, Luo Feng went on without a moment's rest. The thing was, even if he had gathered many of them, the scales were still in a mess. There was no single composition that looked like a decent component. Time passed by. In a blink of the eye, the search had gone on for more than a month. Luo Feng had taken complete reference to the distribution of these scales. In areas where the scales were densely gathered, he would search even more thoroughly. Naturally, He had sketched a diagram in his mind, which easily allowed him to speculate the place that would most likely to have a large number of scales. Going by such a method, Luo Feng was highly efficient. 182,900. Luo Feng had lost the zest he had when he first started. Now, he only looked forward to the moment where all these scattered pieces of scales would start to show changes. The large amount of scattered black scales accumulated in a pile in the core control room of Star Tower suddenly flew toward and gathered around this 182,900th piece of scale Luo Feng had just collected. The 182,900th piece became a core. Every other piece was connecting, embedding, and composing about it in a frenzy. At the same time, bouts of aura were spreading out. There was an immeasurably insane aura, to the extent of reminding Luo Feng of memories within the space of the wings where he was subjected to the insanely suppressive willpower of the bloodstains on the pair of white wings. In a short moment, a gigantic, black wrist guard with a simple structure was suspended above the large number of scattered scales. The moment Luo Feng stretched out his left hand, the black wrist guard flew over instantly to cover his wrist. Quickly, it blended into its surroundings. At the same time, a piece of information was transmitted from the wrist guard into his consciousness rapidly. Huh? Luo Feng whispered softly. So Extermination Godly Armor's original name is Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor was its actual name. Or rather, it was the name the creator of this armor had given it. As for Extermination Godly Armor, it was a name 5 Chaos Master had given the armor. Upon transmission, all of Universe Ocean got to know of its name. A mere wrist guard is of no use at all. The information transmitted was a piteous amount, containing only the actual name and some uses of the wrist guard. The simple engravings on the wrist guard could be facilitated to include attachment, but apparently, this level of attachment would not be comparable to the ultimate technique of a Universe Master Luo Feng had created. Yet this name seems to suggest that there is something extraordinary about this Extermination Godly Armor. Luo Feng was looking more and more forward to learning more about the armor. The name it was given was quite well deserved, actually. After all, it was only second to a supreme true treasure. Naturally, it would be ridiculous to think of it as ordinary. Judging from normal practice, for the weaker ones, using strange objects and using supreme true treasures that were unable to unleash their full potential, the strength of the power unleashed by both was not much different. Supreme true treasures could unleash their true powers only if they were in the hands of a great being was capable of executing its powers well. For example, to most Universe Supreme Masters, strange objects and supreme true treasures were vastly different. For some Universe Masters who were very powerful, they might still be able to unleash a sizable amount of power from these supreme true treasures. However, to Luo Feng, who had only activated Star Tower to its second form, he did not unleash the full potential of Star Tower's true strength. Star Tower could only be treated as equivalent to a strange object. Meaning to say that Extermination Godly Armor and Silver Wings, when placed in Luo Feng's hands, would be equal to Star Tower in power level. At least for now. With Silver Wings, Luo Feng was not the least bothered about the 4th-tier life forms. With his Star Tower Long Shuttle, he could suppress the 4th-tier life forms, but his power level would not be enough to fight Star River Master. I wonder what the true efficiency of Extermination Godly Armor is, Luo Feng said. Continue seeking. Sense of summoning. Upon obtaining the first component, the wrist guard of Extermination Godly Armor, Luo Feng could already feel a faint summoning from, for instance, the other pieces of scales around him and the pieces of scales dispersed in the outside world but still nearby. Following the sense of summoning, Luo Feng's speed of search increased tremendously and with an extremely high rate of efficiency. One by one, scales were being gathered continuously. He had even started to discover golden scales. The entire right arm of Extermination Godly Armor was golden, while the other parts were black. In the blink of an eye, another 32 days passed. The number of scales from Extermination Godly Armor that Luo Feng had gathered reached 6,920,021 pieces. Based on an approximate assemblage, he estimated that he must have gathered around 80% of the entire Extermination Godly Armor. Although the quantity was high, he still lacked many connecting parts, so the entire armor seemed scattered with many of its secret engravings remaining incomplete. Just as the 6,920,021st piece of scale was recognizing its master, drastic change occurred again. Wrist guard, battle boots, and dress armor all started assembling in a frenzy. Bouts of intimidating aura were gushing forth continuously, impacting Luo Feng's willpower. However, having steeled his willpower during his time in the space of the White Wings, Luo Feng was able to ward off the impacts. Soon, a half-completed extermination godly armor was seen suspended in midair. The half-finished extermination godly armor was floating in the control room of Star Tower, and it was giving out a dark light. The armor was black, and only the right claw was golden. A plethora of ancient information flooded Luo Feng's mind. Although he wasn't able to read the characters, he knew what they meant. This is Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. Luo Feng looked happy. No wonder it's a valuable second only to Supreme True Treasures. Incredible. This is exactly what I need right now. The message transferred already contained most of the information of Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. It had several functions. It had excellent defending power as an armor. It was able to affect the soul and willpower, and it was able to weaken the soul attack to 1/100th. It was much more effective against material attacks, as it was able to weaken material attack to 1/100,000th. It was more precious than force armor. Also, it was made up of 8,999,999 scales, and those scales could form all sorts of shapes. It could be used as a spiritual force weapon like how that 5 Chaos Master formed 5 Beast God. It was used for distant attacks. Plus, the right claw was the most powerful attacking part. Aside from defense, distant attacks, and close combat, Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor also had a special ability which gave it the name Crazy Demon. When the mind and willpower of the user became more and more similar to the armor, the user would grow crazier, and sometimes, the user would forget everything and fight madly. This madness would create a strong mental impact. Of course, the mind-hitting power wasn't strong enough to be useful. Such wicked armor. Luo Feng raised his head and looked at Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. The armor flew to Luo Feng's body like a streak of black light. Black scales showed up on his godly body. As for force armor, Luo Feng had put it away. Crazy Demon? Crazy Demon? Luo Feng frowned. Wicked and dangerous. It wasn't a good thing to be trapped in the state of a crazed demon. Based on the information on hand, once he was trapped in that state, he would forget everything and only know fighting. This was dangerous, as he needed to be able to judge the situation. No wonder I've never heard of 5 Chaos Master using mind attacks. Luo Feng thought. It's indeed not useful. The good thing is, it's excellent in close combat, distant attacks, and defense, especially that right claw. Luo Feng thought. There were different types of engraving sculptures on Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. There were engravings for material defense, there was a combination of engravings, and there were even 3 levels of engraving sculptures on the golden right claw. Apparently, the engravings were not complete. The engravings of defense and combination are not difficult. Luo Feng was extremely high-achieving in engraving pictures. The most difficult ones are those on the golden right claw. They can rival Shawu Wing but are inferior to Star Tower. I'll keep searching. Luo Feng didn't have time to study the engravings. I might not be able to completely understand these engravings. Besides, the Universe Supreme Masters are coming here, and I think it might take them a short while to arrive. I need to gather all the scales before they arrive. Half a month passed. It took Luo Feng a long time to get into the abyss from Universe Boat. However, the 3rd True Master and the 6th True Master advanced extremely quickly. It's frozen lake fire in the front, and the abyss is right above. Based on the coordinate, we can race up there and go to the 9th abyss. Even there's someone looking for valuables, they won't be able to make it out in such a short time. They are not able to use domain to inspect the abyss, so they can only use their eyes and senses. With the sensing skills we Universe Supreme Masters have, he won't be able to get away. Let's go. They were both sitting in Pinnacle Palace type true treasures. They tore space and time like two beams of light, and the laws all receded. Their speed surged, 500 times faster than light speed, 1,000 times faster than light speed. They immediately went through frozen lake fire, and they saw the abyss on top. Their speed plummeted. Even Universe Supreme Masters didn't dare to rush into the abyss at high speed. After all, the gravitational power was already very strong, and with that breakneck speed, the pinnacle palaces might not be able to withstand it. Their speed plummeted, and they followed the swallowing power. Universe Masters would not be able to survive in Pinnacle Palace-type true treasures, yet it was different for Universe Supreme Masters. They were able to wield more power of Pinnacle Palace-type true treasures. Get into the abyss. I'll see which one is trying to seize the true treasures of Divine Eye Clan. Humph. Extermination Godly Armor, win true treasures, they belong to us Divine Eye Clan. Our final death is coming. No matter which Universe Supreme Master you are, you're just unlucky. The two Universe Supreme Masters were ferocious and they flew into the abyss. They were prepared to fight even Universe Supreme Masters. The Divine Eye Clan obtained ancient engraving sculptures in the three lands of Extremis, and after careful research, the seven true masters fully comprehended lots of mysteries. They weren't afraid of anyone but Teacher Origin in Universe Ocean. In the depth of the ninth abyss. Where is it? Luo Feng sat in his bloody pyramid. He was flying in the inner area of the abyss. Where are the last scales? Extermination Godly Armor had 8,999,999 scales in total. He was afraid before that some scales would fall in some unknown areas. Yet now, he had 8,999,993 scales, and he had the final 6 left. I need them all. Luo Feng grew anxious. He wasn't able to find them with his sensing. It means that the scales are far away. Luo Feng closed his eyes, and a map came into his mind. It was the distribution map of the scales, and he was able to extrapolate from the map. I can infer that there are 9 possible areas where the final 6 scales are, and they are all on the edge. Luo Feng immediately selected his route. Su. The bloody pyramid flew along the route and started to look for the final 6 scales. Extermination Godly Armor couldn't even compare with Shawu Wing. Luo Feng was able to sense Shawu Wing when he was several light years away, yet he was only able to sense Extermination Godly Armor half a light year away. It could be concluded that there were differences between the two true treasures. Shawu Wing is that powerful with only 2 pairs of wings. If I have all 6 of them, how incredible it will be. The 3rd True Master and the 6th True Master had been looking in the abyss for 8 days. They followed the gravitational power, and they arrived at the area they intended to go. They found some fragments of true treasures, which made them realize that the other fragments and scales of Extermination Godly Armor must be close. I found a fragment of a true treasure. It might be from a true treasure from Luo Feng or 5 Chaos. Look carefully. Luo Feng flew along the edge, but he didn't dare use Golden Country. He speculated that the Universe Supreme Masters would have entered the 9th abyss now. If he used Golden Country, he would be found very soon. The bloody pyramid was flying fast, and Luo Feng was wearing the black crazy demon Extermination Godly Armor. 2 more. It's been 9 days. I found 4 scales in the past 9 days, and I only have 2 left. Luo Feng felt a sense of danger. He could sense that Universe Supreme Masters could show up anytime. The last 2 scales. There are still 3 areas that I haven't searched for. The abyss is enormous, so in all the areas where domain inspection is impossible, they can only use their eyes. I think they won't be able to find me in a short time. The last 3 areas are all very remote. It might take me half a month to inspect them all. Luo Feng was looking forward to it. Half a month. I've got to find the last 2 scales and complete Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. The 3rd True Master and the 6th True Master kept searching. After 3 days, Luo Feng kept being patient, following the original path. I was in the center of Lava Ocean, and the speed exceeds the law control. Universe Supreme Masters might have the same skills. Luo Feng forced himself to be calm, and he would immediately hide if special ripples showed up. Huh? Luo Feng frowned and took out a token. That was a token given by his teacher, Sitting Mountain Guest, and he could contact each other using the token. Sitting Mountain Guest contacted Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Teacher, answered Luo Feng. Where are you? Said Sitting Mountain Guest. I'm in the 9th abyss, answered Luo Feng. No. I'm asking, which part of the 9th abyss are you in? I'm already in the 9th abyss, and I followed the gravitational power and reached the depth of the abyss. I found the 3rd true master and the 6th master, yet they didn't find me. Tell me exactly where you are. The message from Sitting Mountain Guest dazed Luo Feng. Teacher? Teacher is here? Teacher, you, Luo Feng was indeed dazed. Even if you become a universe master, said Sitting Mountain Guest, you won't be able to make it out with Star Tower without me. Do you want to spend forever in the abyss? Teacher. Luo Feng felt warm. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest had said that he wouldn't help Luo Feng before, yet he arrived directly, which made Luo Feng grateful. Teacher, I'm at. Luo Feng described the reference points around him to let the teacher know where he was. I'm coming now, said Sitting Mountain Guest. This video will end here.